I'm starting to think my husband might be the dad of his best friend's kids. And now her oldest boy? He's got a thing for my daughter. Yeah, I changed all the names, just in case. This started as a weird hunch, just a whisper in the back of my head. Now it's a damn drumbeat I can't turn off. I'm 42. My husband Luke is 43. So is Amy. I met Luke in college, but he and Amy? They go way back. Grade school, always together. Same jokes, same weird inside stuff. Called each other siblings. When I first started dating Luke, I was jealous. Amy was always around, too close. But they swore it was never like that. She's like the sister I never had, Luke said. Luke's just my brother, Amy added. And I bought it. Hell, I even got close to her. She officiated our damn wedding. Luke and I built a life, had kids. Amy? Still around, a lot. She'd join us for dinners, trips, birthdays. We even helped her meet guys. She always said she had the worst luck. Then we had kids. And surprise, Amy started having kids too. Us, Sophie, Owen, Louise, Carter. Her, Tom, 17. Kaylee, 14. Twins Adam and Jenna, 9. Here's the catch. Amy never had a man. Not one steady boyfriend, no names, no breakups. Just boom, pregnant again. Every time I asked, you know who the dad is? She'd just shrug. Nope, like it was nothing. She never asked for help. But Luke? Oh, he was there, always helping. Money, rides, baby stuff, support. His folks helped too. They love Amy. We got her a place, watched the kids, whatever she needed. And yeah, people whispered, said she was taking advantage. But I didn't see it that way. She was family. Only thing I never got. She never used birth control. Didn't believe in it. Not religious. Just didn't want it. I asked her once. She gave some long talk. I stopped asking. And Luke? Still her buddy. Still hung out with her. Alone even. Slept over sometimes. I trusted him. Maybe too much. But I never saw anything. Our kids grew up like cousins. Tight-knit. But now I'm stuck with this ugly thought. What if Luke is their dad? Not just one kid. All of them. I never thought Luke would cheat. He's never lied. But the signs are stacking. Amy never had a guy. Her pregnancies lined up with our life events. Luke was always there. Always too involved. And now Tom, the oldest, is into Sophie, my daughter. If Luke is Tom's dad, that makes this twisted as hell. When Amy had her first baby, I was curious. By the third, I was suspicious. I figured maybe there was some secret guy, some ghost she was hiding. But why hide him from everyone? Even the kids? Luke and I stopped having babies after Carter. He got snipped. Vasectomy. We were done. Amy had her twins just before that. Since then, no more kids from her. Makes you think. Luke and I still had our bed life. No worries anymore. But Amy? Suddenly done having babies too. He still visited her. Still checked on the kids. Still Uncle Luke. But if you look at how involved he is, it's weird. Like, full-time dad level, showing up for parent-teacher nights and everything. He's never slipped with our kids. Never slacked with me. But looking back, it's like he's got two families. And yeah, some would say that's sweet, being a father figure to kids with no dad. But at some point, it doesn't feel innocent anymore. There's the way the kids look. I won't get too detailed. But trust me, Amy's kids? You'd swear they came from Luke. Kaylee's got a rare allergy Luke has. The twins? Especially Adam, they are Luke. Copy-paste. And Tom? Acts, talks, even walks like Luke. It's creepy. Luke's mixed, Amy's not. But her kids? They look mixed. Same curls, same skin tone, same vibe. Coincidence? Maybe. But it's one hell of a coincidence. I've never said any of this to Luke or Amy. What would I even say? Hey, did you two secretly start another family together? Even if they're clean, it'd blow up everything. And if they're not? Same result. And what if the kids found out? Ours or hers? So yeah, I kept quiet. I've tried hinting. Said stuff like, maybe we need more time, just us. Me, you, the kids. If he got the hint, he played dumb. Or maybe he really didn't see it. Luke's never made me feel second best. He doesn't ditch us for her. He's not distant. But deep down, I still feel like they crossed a line a long time ago, maybe more than once. What messes me up even more, Amy never seemed like she even wanted to be a mom. Not really. She loves them, sure. but she always talked like kids weren't in the plan, not in her dream life. So if she did sleep with Luke, I don't think she was trying to trap him or get his money. I think the kids just happened. Fallout. I've buried this feeling for years. First time it really hit? Kaylee's weird allergy. Same one Luke has. Then the twins were born and it got worse. Then Luke's vasectomy, and boom, Amy stops having kids too. I should have felt relieved. Instead, it made me 10 times more sure. Sometimes I wish those twins were born after the vasectomy, just to prove I'm wrong. But I never said anything. If I'm wrong, I blow up our life for nothing. If I'm right, I blow it up anyway. And now it's worse. Couple months ago, Tom, Amy's oldest, asked out Sophie. Yeah, our daughter. Let that sit for a sec. She's a smart, confident girl. I'm not shocked boys notice. But Tom? That hit hard. She said no, thank God. Only because she knew I'd need to say yes first. And I could tell she wanted to say yes. She even asked me about it. Did everything right. I think she thought I'd say okay, but I shut it down. Fast. She was pissed. Not 'cause she was in love with him, but 'cause I didn't give her a real reason. All I said was, he's too old for you. And yeah, he is. But that wasn't the reason. Not really. I watched Amy and Luke's faces when they found out. I was hoping, really hoping, one of them would laugh and say, come on, let him go on one little date, what's the damage? Something normal, but they didn't. Luke said, if we say no, she'll want it more. He's not wrong. He gets how teenagers work. Amy? She shrugged. It's just a crush. She'll get over it. She said it like she didn't care either way. But Sophie hasn't gotten over it. Now Tom's always around. Sometimes alone, sometimes in a group, but always near her. Close. He's into her. It's obvious. And not just flirty. Serious. I've been watching. His hands, his eyes, the way he leans in. And Sophie doesn't pull away. That eliminates me. I've done everything short of locking her up to stop this. But it's like trying to stop a train with bare hands. She swears they're just friends. And on paper, they are. So if I forbid it, they'll just sneak around. Then I lose whatever control I've got left. Still, I'm scared I'm already too late. That something happened. Tom's getting touchy. She lets him. That's enough to mess me up. I even thought about sitting her down and saying, he's like your brother. But if she doesn't feel that, what good would it do? To her, he's not family. Just a boy she grew up with. A boy she might like. But if I'm right, if Luke's their dad, then this can't happen. Ever. And I feel useless. Just standing here while it spins out of control. Luke says he talked to Tom, Amy too. But nothing's changed. Tom's not backing off. He's obsessed. And Sophie? I think she likes being wanted. Tom even came to me, face to face. Why don't you want me with her? He asked. I'd never hurt her. I froze. What do I even say? So I said the same thing. She's too young. But that excuse won't last. What about when they're both older? When nothing's illegal? Luke and Amy say they're not okay with it either, but they're just standing there, waiting for it to go away. And maybe it will. Maybe it's just teen drama. Most of it fades. But what if it doesn't? What if before it does they go too far? What if they already have? I feel like I'm one breath from losing it, 1 second from turning to Luke and saying, none of this would be happening if you didn't lie. If you didn't play house with Amy behind my back. 'Cause if I'm right, then his son, his actual son, is trying to hook up with our daughter, and he doesn't even know it. And all this mess, it's on them, Luke and Amy, for whatever they did or didn't, but never said out loud. But if I open my mouth, boom, everything blows up. If I'm wrong, I just accused my husband and my so-called best friend of the worst thing you can do to someone. If I'm right, it wrecks everyone. The whole family falls apart. The kids get caught in the middle. There's no easy fix. Even if I stayed with Luke after that, which, let's be honest, I probably wouldn't, I'd still have to live knowing Sophie almost hooked up with her half-brother. Or worse, maybe already did. I keep hoping it'll fade, that they'll lose interest, that this crush will burn out. But what if it doesn't? What if they stay together, get married, want kids? Only way to stop it for good is to tell Sophie. Drop the truth, blow it all open. But that would destroy her, and everyone else. Luke, Amy, all the kids. Owen loves Luke, looks up to him like a hero. If he finds out, I don't even want to think about it. And Amy's kids? They didn't ask for this. They didn't do anything wrong. I'm pissed at Tom right now, yeah. Last week I saw him grab Sophie's A. I almost lost it. I wanted to throw him out on the spot. But he doesn't know. He's got no clue she might be his sister. None. And finding that out? That'd eliminate him. This whole thing is a damn mess. And I don't know what to do anymore. I've been looking away for years, pretending it wasn't real, letting them lie while I stayed quiet. Thought I could live with it, but this thing between Tom and Sophie, it's breaking me. Update. It feels like no matter what move I make, something's gonna blow up. I've spent the last 5 years playing out every possible scenario in my head. Different ways this could go if I ever decided to actually do something about what I've been feeling. I used to think I'd go the secret DNA test route. I even told myself I'd already made that decision. But when it came down to it, I couldn't follow through. And now I regret it. Because that window has basically slammed shut. At the time, it felt wrong. Like I was crossing a major line, testing someone else's kid behind their back. That's a boundary I couldn't justify, no matter how bad I wanted answers. I did speak with my lawyer about it. She told me flat out not to do it. Said even if the results proved something, it could be used against me if things ever got messy with Luke legally. It'd make me look vindictive, unstable, paranoid. Take your pick. But honestly, part of me still wishes I had just done it in secret and kept the results to myself. Because I need to know. I need to know, and I still don't. At one point, I thought about talking to Sophie. Just quietly, just her and me. But the more I played that out in my mind, the worse it felt. I can't dump something like that on her, plant doubts about her dad, when I haven't even confronted him. I finally snapped. No more second-guessing, no more sitting around while everything rotted from the inside out. I told them, Luke and Amy, we were having this out. No more dodging, no more fake smiles. I wasn't going to let them play telephone with my words. So I made sure both of them were in front of me. Same table, same damn moment. Kids were out the door for school. House was quiet. Perfect time to blow it up. I didn't waste breath. I need to ask you both something, I said, staring dead at them. And I need straight answers, no bullshit. They exchanged that look again. You know the one people give when they already know what's coming. So I laid it all out. Years of gnawing at my ribs like a damn dog with a bone. The weird coincidences, the uncanny similarities between Amy's kids and Luke. How they act, how they look, even the sleepwalking. Luke used to do it. So do Tom. So does Adam. And Sophie. I told them this wasn't about revenge, not about being vindictive. It was about me finally not choking on silence anymore. Then I hit them with it. Did something happen between you two? Did you sleep together? Are Amy's kids his? Amy's face twisted like she'd tasted acid. You seriously think I slept with your husband and popped out his kids? Luke just stared at the table like it might save him. I've stood by you both for years, I said. But the signs are everywhere. I can't unsee them anymore. Amy shot to her feet. You think this is some kind of long con? What? I got knocked up 4 times and never said a word? Are you out of your mind? Luke finally spoke, voice tight. Why now? Why are you doing this now? Because your son is trying to screw my daughter, I snapped. That's why. And if there's even a chance they share blood, this is way past the point of me playing nice. Amy stepped in again, voice sharp. You praised him for helping with my kids. You called it beautiful. Now it's suspicious? You think I wanted to see it? I hissed. I begged myself not to. I've prayed I'm wrong. Amy glared. You need to get your head checked. I turned to Luke. If it's not you, then fine. I'll shut up forever, but if it's not you, then who? Amy's jaw clenched. That's none of your damn business. Oh, it's my business now, I snapped. You've lived off our generosity for years. You let my husband play daddy while I smiled through it. Her face went red. Luke helped me, not you. You sat back and acted like some queen while we scrambled. That's bullshit, and you know it. No, what's bullshit is this whole act like you're the sufferer. You've always looked down on me. Luke tried to step in, but the room was on fire. I turned to him, barely keeping my voice level. For the sake of our family, for Sophie, will you take a damn paternity test? He looked like I'd gut-punched him. You don't believe me, he said. No, I don't, I shot back. Not anymore. He paused, then nodded, slow and miserable. Fine, if it'll give you peace. But Amy? Amy lost it. You are not testing my kids, she barked. Back the hell off. I tried again, softer, then firmer. Luke tried too, but she shut it down hard. No way, she said. This conversation's over. Luke looked at me, helpless. She won't do it, he muttered, and I can't force her. And yeah, he's probably right. I looked into it, talked to my lawyer. Technically, Luke could take it to court and push for a paternity test. But the catch? He'd have to admit he cheated for that to even be considered. That would be the legal basis, admitting to an affair. And Luke swears up and down that nothing ever happened. Do I believe him? No idea anymore. But I know this much. He's not going to stand up in front of a judge and say he might be someone else's dad. He's not trying to claim paternity, custody, or anything that would legally justify dragging Amy into this. So the court wouldn't force her to do anything. Tom's old enough to say no anyway. And if Amy and Tom both refuse, that's it. Case closed. Theoretically, Luke could try testing one of the twins, but he already told me flat out he won't. He's not about to drag Amy through a courtroom just to prove something he claims isn't even true. Let it go, he told me. You have to trust me. Don't burn everything down chasing something that's not real. And legally, my lawyer backed him. She said it'd do more damage than good, especially if things ever head toward divorce. So yeah, not exactly a smart play. Plus, if Luke did go through with it, just requesting the test would basically confirm the whole damn thing. I pushed the issue again about Sophie and Tom. They cannot date, I said. You need to step in. You have to talk to him. Luke agreed. Amy apparently still agrees too, whatever that's worth. I'll talk to him, Luke promised. Go full dad mode if I have to. He even said he'd remind Tom that once Sophie turns 18, things could get serious, legally. If he lays a hand on her, I told Luke, I swear I'll press charges. I know Tom's not some creep, but I'm not above scaring the crap out of him if that's what it takes. Luke didn't argue. Neither am I. I asked one last thing. If he'd be willing to secretly get a DNA sample from Tom. Just one. Just for closure. But he hesitated. Said it didn't feel right. Said it'd cross a line neither of us could walk back from. He also pointed out that if Amy ever found out, our friendship with her would be done for. No coming back. She might still forgive you, he said. There's still something left to salvage. And yeah, I could tell he wanted that. He wanted things to go back to how they were. But if I did this behind her back and she found out, yeah, she'd lose her mind. And honestly, she'd have every right to. That doesn't mean I don't still want the damn test. That night, Luke went over to talk to her. Stayed the night? Yeah, I know what you're thinking. I thought it too. It made me sick. He said it was just damage control, that she needed to vent and calm down, that it was all talk, nothing more. I didn't sleep at all. I texted him half the night. Barely got responses. He came home the next morning, said she was cooling off, just needed time. We talked, really talked, and ended up deciding to take the kids, our kids, not Amy's, out of town to see his parents for a few days. Impromptu trip, but we've done it before. The kids were happy. Honestly, I just needed to hit pause on all this Amy drama. I needed us, just our family, away from all that. His parents, Jim and Kat, are always happy to see us. Kat's 67 now. And no, she's nothing like those nightmare mother-in-laws Reddit loves to roast. She's been nothing but kind to me. Being around them, I feel safe. So safe, in fact, that I cracked. When Kat pulled me aside and asked if everything was okay between me and Luke, I just let it all out. Told her everything. My suspicions, my fears, that I thought Luke and Amy may have crossed a line, that Amy's kids might be his. And here's the twist. Kat didn't even flinch. She looked at Jim, sighed like she'd been holding it in for years, and said, I've thought the same thing. I stared at her. She went on. Said she's had doubts for a long time. She's always felt like Luke and Amy were closer than they should be. That maybe they weren't just best friends like they claimed. Jim wasn't having it. Kat's seeing shadows, he muttered. They're like brother and sister. They wouldn't. Kat rolled her eyes so hard I thought they'd stick. That's naive, she said. Just because we treated Amy like a daughter doesn't mean Luke saw her as a sister, or that she saw him as a brother. It was obvious they'd argued about this before. Same dance, different day. Biology doesn't mean anything, Kat said. If they were into each other, nothing was stopping them. Jim didn't respond, just got up and walked out of the room. So yeah, Kat's had the same gut feeling, that maybe Luke is the father of those kids, which explains why she's always treated them like grandkids. I never blamed her for that. She didn't owe me a warning, especially when she never had proof. As for the kids, they're doing okay, I guess. I have no clue what Amy told hers, but we stuck to the script. We told ours that Amy and I had a falling out and needed space. When they asked for more, Luke shut it down. It's not your business, he told them. Firm, final. No clue if Amy gave her kids the same version, but they all have each other on social media, so they're definitely still talking. If Amy had spilled anything big, I'm sure I'd have heard it through the grapevine by now, especially since Sophie and Tom are close. I tried talking to Sophie again. Bad timing. She brushed me off, figured it was just more fallout from the Amy drama. I'm not dating Tom, she said flatly. Do I believe her? Not totally. But she was clear. They're staying close. She drew her own line and made it very clear I wasn't crossing it. And honestly, I don't have a solid reason to separate them. Not yet. They've known each other their whole lives. And while Luke's with me on keeping them from dating, he's not on board with cutting off the friendship entirely. The worst part? I keep thinking about that DNA test I didn't do, that one chance to settle this once and for all. And I blew it. Update. In the end, I said screw it. Whatever mess it caused, I needed to tell Sophie what was going on, and fast. I didn't care if Luke got pissed. I didn't care if it meant the rest of the kids found out. She had to know what she might be walking into, so I pulled her out of school quietly. We came home the night before, and the next morning I dropped off the others, saving her for last. I drove right past her school. She looked confused. Wrong turn? We need to talk, I said. Her face dropped. Every teen hates hearing those 4 words. I'm not mad, I added quickly. You're not in trouble, but you need to know the truth. Why Amy and I aren't speaking, and why you can't be with Tom. I told her everything. As gently as I could, I laid it out. The suspicion that Luke and Amy had crossed a line years ago, that maybe, just maybe, Tom could be Luke's biological son. That if there was even a chance they were half-siblings, this thing between them had to end before it really started. She sat there, silent, just staring out the window. When she finally spoke, her voice was calm. We need to talk to Tom. He deserves to know. I agreed. She texted him to meet up. They were both skipping school that day, and honestly, I didn't care. Straight-A student, life or end emotional crisis, I wasn't going to stand in the way. Tom showed up, looking nervous as hell. Sophie asked me to repeat everything I'd told her, so I did, every word. Then I looked at him and said I was sorry. Sorry for anything I'd said or done that made him feel like I didn't think he was good enough. And I told both of them I regretted not saying something sooner. They looked at each other, this weird, silent exchange. Then Sophie nodded and she said, We already knew. That hit me like a brick. They what? I asked. Tom stepped in. I've suspected for a while. I've heard stuff. Stuff I wish I could unhear. He told me he'd heard things, noises, coming from Amy's bedroom. Things no kid ever wants to connect to their parent. And everything pointed to Luke being the guy on the other side of that door. He didn't just keep it to himself either. He told Sophie back in January. And she'd had her own doubts already. Had seen the weird tension between Luke and Amy. They'd pieced it together. The closeness, the allergy Kaylee and Luke share, the way the timelines line up. If Kaylee's his, Tom said, then maybe the rest of us are too. Turns out they'd been playing the long game, pretending to flirt, pretending to be close, trying to force Luke and Amy's hand, hoping if the parents thought something real was going on, they'd step in and stop it. But they didn't. You were the only one who reacted, Tom said. That's when we figured you probably already knew. Looking back, it tracks. They've always been tight, always shared secrets. And yeah, part of me's a little freaked they got so sneaky. But honestly, I'm mostly just relieved. They're not in love. They were never dating. The whole thing was staged, a setup. Just trying to see if their parents would finally admit the truth. Sophie broke down crying. "I should have told you," she said. I pulled her in and told her this wasn't on her, that I loved her more than anything. And yeah, I cried too. Tom and Sophie, both of them already knew they might be related, and they never crossed that line. That mess, that fake relationship, it was their way of lighting a fire, trying to get answers, trying to crack the silence. Tom looked at me, half laughing, half hurt. "Kinda stung when you acted like I was a creep for liking your daughter." I smirked. "You don't think she's beautiful?" "Oh, she's gorgeous," he said. "So's my English teacher. Doesn't mean I'm trying to date her." We laughed, the kind of laugh that comes from total exhaustion. Now we've got to figure out what's next. But damn, it felt like I could finally breathe. Telling Sophie lifted a weight I've carried for years. And now having her and Tom in my corner, that means everything. Tom's already offered to do a DNA test. No hesitation. Sophie and Tom both told me not to say a word to Luke or Amy, and I agreed. They're with me completely. Tom's even trying to rig up a hidden camera in Amy's room to catch them in the act. I didn't even ask. That was his idea. And then Sophie looked me straight in the eye and said, "You need to divorce Dad." I didn't say anything, just sat there letting the words sink in. She's right. And somehow, hearing it from her made everything crystal clear. Update. I don't have any DNA results back yet. It'll probably take a few weeks. But honestly, now that I know Sophie isn't at risk of dating her half-brother, I'm breathing easier. I'll get to that in a bit. But the crazy part is, whether or not Luke's the biological father of Amy's kids, I don't even think that's the biggest issue anymore. And just to be super clear, no, I don't believe my father-in-law Jim is having some secret fling with Amy. That theory is dead. At worst, maybe he knows or suspects the truth about Luke and Amy. Or maybe he's just willfully blind. But let me put it bluntly. Jim and Amy are pale as ghosts. Luke and his mom, Kat, are not. If Jim was the father of Amy's kids, they wouldn't look the way they do. Apparently, Sophie and Tom roped Kat into helping them with DNA testing. And I say apparently because they didn't ask me. They told me they'd speak with her, and per my lawyer's advice, I've stayed out of it. Officially, I told Sophie not to do it. She said okay. Kat hasn't said anything to me about it either, even though we've been texting. But if it did happen, I can say truthfully, I didn't know a thing. Loopholes, baby. Anyway, let's talk about something that does matter. While I was getting my ducks in a row, prepping documents in case this went to divorce, I stumbled on something big, like huge. My name's on the deed to the house. Luke's isn't. I'm the one who bought it years ago. We always said we'd put him on the title someday. Then life got busy, and it just never happened. I forgot. He forgot. It was my lawyer, Paige, who caught it. And it felt like hitting the jackpot. I don't know what I'd do without her. She's not just my attorney, she's a friend I've had since college. I reached out, basically begging for help, and she stepped up in a way I never expected. She's been solid, professionally and emotionally. And the best part? She's not Luke's lawyer. We've got a shared family attorney for boring stuff like HOA disputes. But Paige is different. She does family law, divorce. Luke remembers her from back in the day but doesn't know what kind of law she practices. So when she comes over, he just thinks we're catching up over coffee. Turns out he's not the only one hiding crap from their spouse. Now for the real gut punch. The last time I checked Luke's phone was 3 months ago, right around the time Tom and Sophie started their little fake relationship. I found nothing. I even knew how to look through recently deleted photos. Still nothing. Then I saw a video online about how to access deleted messages. So, yeah. One night, while Luke was passed out, I took his phone downstairs and dug in. God, I wish I hadn't. Right there in recently deleted, a whole thread between him and Amy. They were talking about me, about the tension, about the fight. Amy literally called me a problem. And Luke? He didn't defend me once, just kept trying to soothe her. The part that destroyed me? They both hinted they'd seen this coming, like they'd expected me to accuse them of having an affair. No straight-up confession, but the guilt was practically dripping off the screen. I scrolled up. Amy's texts turned flirty a few days before the fight, and then, boom. 5 days before I confronted them, she sent him a selfie. No bra, no shirt. Just her, smirking into the camera. I felt like the ground dropped out beneath me. It wasn't a shock, I'd known deep down, but seeing it, seeing the proof, it cut deep. And yeah, it didn't help that Amy's always had bigger melons than me. No point denying it. I opened the deleted photo folder. There it was again, and more. Amy without clothes. Amy spread out in ways I wish I could erase from memory. Pics of her and Luke together, hugging, kissing, all over each other. Some of them without clothes, both of them. Then I found the videos. One had her giggling in that fake sweet voice, saying, "Just a little something to get you through your day." In a few of them, she called him Boo. I actually gagged, it made my stomach turn. I closed the phone thinking that was rock bottom, but something told me to check his laptop too, so I did. I knew his iCloud password. Dumb mistake on his part, really. And yeah, it was all there. Every sick message, every image, full-blown sex tapes, plural, videos of them in bed, selfies, her doing things, and him responding like a thirsty teenager. Some weren't sexual, just old pics of them as teens. Videos of Amy's kids playing. Luke and Amy laughing in the background like some happy little family. And I snapped. For years I told myself I was paranoid, that I was being unfair, that they were just friends. But no, I wasn't crazy. I was right. No one forced me to go looking. But I did. And now I can't unsee any of it. I lost it. I grabbed my phone and called Paige. Middle of the night. Had to call twice. She picked up the second time. "I need you," I told her, my voice breaking. "Now!" She didn't ask questions. She came. When she pulled up, I met her outside, got in her car, sat there and cried my eyes out for half an hour while she just held my hand and let me fall apart. Then I gave her Luke's phone and laptop. Everything. She warned me. This might be considered theft. I told her to forward and print anything she could, then return the devices. I didn't want to touch them again. She agreed. The house was dead silent. Perfect. I crept through every room, grabbing Luke's stuff like it was infested. Shirts, shoes, cologne, razors, I didn't care. I wasn't gentle. I stuffed everything into garbage bags like the garbage he is. Owen shuffled out of his room at one point, rubbing his eyes. "Mom, what are you doing?" "Cleaning, sweetheart. Go back to bed." He nodded and wandered off, trusting me like he always does. God, that hurt. Luke stirred once or twice while I raided our bedroom, but the fool didn't wake. Figures. Sleeps like the dead. Must be exhausting living a double life. By 3 a.m., everything he owned was in the car. Trash bags lined up like body bags. Then I went back in, flipped the bedroom light on full blast. "Get up," I said flat. He blinked, groggy, confused. "What the hell? What's going on?" "Get your A outside, now." He sat up, already clocking that something was off. "Wait, where's my stuff?" "Outside, like you're about to be." He stumbled out with me into the night, barefoot and half asleep. I walked him straight to the car and shoved the divorce papers into his chest. It took him a few seconds to get it. Then his eyes widened like someone had slapped him across the face. "You're kidding," he said. "Does it look like I'm laughing?" "Babe, don't do this." His voice went soft, pathetic. "I love you. You know there's nothing going on with Amy." "Oh, save that crap for someone who didn't see the proof," I snapped. He blinked. "What proof?" I leaned in. "You think I didn't look? You think I didn't see her hooters in your phone? Her calling you boo? You two cozy in bed like a couple of thirsty teenagers?" His mouth dropped open. "Yeah," I snarled. "I saw everything, Luke." He backed up a step, trying to salvage what little dignity he had left. "You're being irrational. You're going to blow up this family over a misunderstanding." "Oh, I'm blowing it up. Was I the one making sex tapes in the guest room? Was I the one saving racy shots like a trophy collection?" He stayed quiet. Guilty silence. "You threw this family in the trash. I'm just dragging your A out with it." He changed tactics, like the snake he is. "You don't get to decide what happens with the kids. They're mine too. You can't just throw me out and act like I'm not their father. I smiled, and it was ice. You want to fight me on custody? Be my guest. But you're not dragging them into Amy's mess. And just so we're crystal clear, I pulled out the deed paperwork and smacked it against his chest. This house? Mine. You don't even have your name on it, dumbass. He stared down at it like it was a death certificate. And under no circumstances will my children be sleeping under Amy's roof. I catch wind of that happening, I'll go scorched earth. You won't even be allowed supervised visits in a church basement. He looked like he wanted to scream, but instead he just muttered, Fine, I'll go. I'll be the bigger man. I barked a laugh. Bigger man? You've been crawling behind my back like a goddamn rat for years. Don't talk to me about being a man. He turned to walk away, then paused. What about my phone? My laptop? I waved a hand like I was swatting a fly. Check the bags. Maybe Amy's racy shots will keep you warm tonight. He flinched but didn't respond. Just grabbed a couple bags and left. I didn't watch him drive off. I turned and went back inside, shut the door, locked it, and for the first time in years, I didn't feel like the crazy one. Didn't sleep a damn minute that night. Just cried. Cried until my face burned. Eventually, I pulled myself together enough to realize the kids would need answers in the morning. Maybe not the full truth, but something. I started with Sophie, of course. I sat on the edge of her bed and said, Your dad's gone. I made him leave. Her eyes flew open. I didn't sugarcoat it. I found proof, real proof, he's been cheating. I didn't say with who, didn't need to, and she didn't ask, just stared at me, lips pressed tight, jaw tense. After that, I woke the rest of them. I kept it light for the younger ones. Just said Dad had to stay somewhere else for a bit. I didn't say where because honestly I didn't care, and told them life was going to feel a little different from here on out. Louise blinked at me and asked, Are you two getting a divorce? I didn't dance around it. Yeah, we are. Then Owen looked up at me, eyes huge. When do we get to see Dad again? I nearly broke right there. Before I could answer, Sophie stepped in, calm, strong, grown way too fast. Let's just be here for Mom right now, she said. We don't need to worry about that yet. I didn't feed them any lies about their dad. I didn't go on some campaign to turn them against him. Paige made it clear. Don't do that. It's toxic and it backfires. And besides, Sophie already knew the score. As they got ready for school, Owen circled back to me while I was in the kitchen. Is this because of Amy? He asked quietly. Is Dad picking her instead of you? I didn't answer. I didn't need to. His face said it all. Once they were out the door, I called a locksmith. No way in hell was Luke walking back into that house like nothing happened. Paige dropped off his phone and laptop before he could come sniffing around. She stepped inside, handed me a flash drive, and said, Everything's copied. We've got what we need. Sure enough, about an hour later, Luke came stomping up to the front door like he still had a key, or a right to walk in. I opened it before he could knock again. Where the hell are my laptop and phone? He snapped, not even saying hello. I didn't flinch. On the bed. He narrowed his eyes. You said they were in the bags. Yeah, guess I lied, I said flat. Get your crap and get out. He stormed past me like he owned the place, grabbed his stuff off the bed, checked the phone immediately, probably looking for signs someone had snooped. I stayed leaned against the doorway, arms crossed. Then he tried it again. The soft voice, the fake calm, the same tired act. Listen, can we talk for a second? You're blowing this up for no reason. I scoffed. You're unbelievable. I mean it. This doesn't have to get ugly. Oh, sweetie, I said, tilting my head. It already did. The minute you started screwing your best friend and saving her racy shots like trading cards. His face twitched, just for a second. I don't know what you think you saw. Shut up, I cut in. Don't insult my intelligence. You came back for your little treasure chest of lies. Now get gone. He didn't move. You really want to do this, he said, low and threatening. You want the kids to see you like this? All crazy and screaming? I stepped closer. You dare try to use them? You even look at them the wrong way and I'll bury you in court. He laughed, but there was no humor in it. They're my kids too. No, I snapped. They're my kids. You're just the seed donor who happened to be around when it was convenient. His jaw tightened. I'll see them one way or another, he said. I crossed my arms. Not today, you won't. He lingered near the door, stalling. I could feel he was waiting for the kids to come home, hoping to play the good guy in front of them. Not happening. You can stand there like a pathetic dog, or you can get in your car and drive off like a man. Your choice. He opened his mouth to say something else, but I raised my voice, loud and sharp. Get out, Luke. He flinched, muttered something under his breath, then finally walked out. I slammed the door behind him so hard the frame shook, and the second it clicked shut, I slid down to the floor and cried again. Not for him, not even for me. Later that night, I ended up talking to Kat, my mother-in-law. Turns out Luke had shown up at his parents' place. That caught me off guard. I figured he'd run straight to Amy's like a dog going back to its bone. But maybe even he realized how bad that would look to the kids. Maybe he figured he'd stand a better chance of getting to them if he stayed in Grandma's good graces. Kat filled me in. Luke had already given them his version of the story. According to him, I was having some kind of breakdown. Said I'd become paranoid, started acting erratic, lashing out, losing control. He even claimed I got physical. He said you were violent, Kat told me, frowning. I let out a bitter laugh. I shoved him off when he tried to touch me. That's it. That's all. Kat believed me, flat out, no hesitation. And get this, Luke never even mentioned Amy, not once, didn't say, she thinks I'm cheating with Amy or she's accusing me of an affair. Nothing. He just rewrote the whole thing as, my poor wife's losing her mind. Kat caught the omission instantly. She's not stupid. Jim, on the other hand. She said he looked rattled, didn't know what to believe. He didn't say much, just kind of sat with it. I think he wants to stay neutral, which means he's already picked a side without saying it out loud. As for Amy, still playing silent. Tom told Sophie she's acting like everything's fine, like nothing's happened. But it's obvious she's shaken. When her kids ask about what's going on, she tells them I'm having a hard time and pushing everyone away, including her and Luke. Classic deflection. She hasn't said a word about the actual accusation. Just painted herself as the poor, confused friend who's being treated unfairly. She's not reached out, not once. We haven't spoken since the blow-up, and honestly, I don't even want to hear her voice. I told the kids we're having some serious disagreements, but I made one thing damn clear. My mental health isn't the problem here. They heard me. They got it. Especially Sophie. She's been my anchor through all of this. I try to be hers too. And for the little ones. Tom's still keeping us in the loop from the other side, giving us updates. Quiet, careful, loyal. The guilt hits me hardest when I see the weight this whole mess is putting on the kids. I knew it would hurt them. I just didn't realize how much. But I couldn't keep pretending. I couldn't live the lie anymore. And here's the part that wrecks me the most. What I thought was my life. This marriage, that house, all those years. None of it was mine. I was just renting space in someone else's fantasy. Update. The house deed's in my name. That's not a full win, but Paige says it puts me in a strong spot. I've been paying the mortgage too. It could still be seen as shared, but I'm aiming for full custody. Luke gets visits, but only with someone watching. I'm not playing nice. Now the laptop thing, yeah, even Paige said it was iffy, but I told her she could look. And she only did what I could have done myself. I just didn't want to see all that stuff. Paige filled out the divorce papers after my first call to her. Giving them to Luke was just a move. Later, she served him proper and asked for his lawyer's info. But before he replied, I did something sneaky. I went to our old lawyer, Zach. He helped us years ago with some HOA drama. I figured I had as much right to him as Luke, and I got to him first. I can't hit up every lawyer in town just to block Luke from getting one. That's shady. Judges hate that. But Zach, he's ours. I met with him and Paige. They don't like each other, at all. Zach said Paige crossed a line with that laptop thing and told me to hire him instead. Paige wasn't happy. This is her field. So now I'm talking to both. Zach actually said my online posts help. They show I'm calm and sane. If Luke or Amy try to say I'm losing it, those posts fight that. I'm doing better now. Been talking to a friend, Sophie's classmate's mom. I've got therapy booked and I'm setting up sessions for the kids too. When they ask about the divorce, I tell them, your dad and I are dealing with grown-up stuff, nothing to worry about. That worked one day. Sophie warned me they were going to ask the real question, and they did. Did Dad cheat on you with Amy? They've clearly been thinking about it a while. Even though I had solid proof, I didn't want to tell them everything. Let me be clear, I would never show them the stuff I found. But even saying I saw messages would make Carter ask to see them. That kid's curious. So when they asked, I said, yeah, I think he did. I kept it simple, but honest. They seemed to believe me. Now Tom and Sophie are texting like crazy. From what I hear, even Amy's kids are starting to wonder if their mom's been lying too. Jim. Poor Jim. He's finally seeing it. I haven't shown him or Kat anything. They're letting Luke stay with them, so I've kept my distance. But Kat and I had a quick call. We wished each other well. That part felt good. I did hear yelling in the background, though. She stepped outside, but I caught enough. It was Jim shouting at Luke, and Jim never yells. Guy's the most chill man I know. I feel bad for him, but also a bit glad. He's waking up. Kat says Luke's still denying it all, but when he found out I got Zach, he lost it. That felt satisfying. Then the DNA results came in. Sophie and Tom tested each other, wanted to know if they're full siblings. Turns out they're not. No shared DNA. So for the folks who thought Jim was the dad of Amy's kids, nope, that test would have shown it. I never bought that theory. Sophie's not so sure. She wants to retest, but I'm not stressed. I just don't get it. I was sure Tom was Luke's. So was Tom. Now, who knows? He does kind of look like Luke, but maybe that's just dumb luck. One thing's clear. The affair was real. It lasted years. The letters prove it. Luke and Amy both think Kaylee's his kid, so they were messing around at least 15 years back. Now I'm stuck wondering, for Tom's sake, if not Luke, then who? Things were quiet for a few days. Too quiet. Then she showed up. Amy, freaking Amy, my so-called best friend. Thank God I'd already installed Ring cameras everywhere. Inside, outside, the works. I opened the door just a crack, saw her standing there like nothing was wrong. Calm face, fake composed, not a hair out of place. We need to talk, she said, all sweet and soft-spoken. I knew immediately she wasn't here for herself. She was Luke's little messenger. Nope, I said. Not interested. Turn around. Go. She didn't move, didn't raise her voice either, just stood there like some stubborn statue, repeating the same thing over and over like a broken A record. We need to have a conversation. The kids weren't home. The house was dead quiet. My gut was screaming, but I still cracked the door wider and hit record on my phone, just in case. Fine, I muttered. But don't touch anything. She walked in like she owned the place. We sat on the couch. I stayed stiff. She kept that fake calm going like she was the reasonable one in the room. I waited for some sort of apology, maybe even a hint of shame. Instead, she opened her mouth and said, "Whatever you pulled from Luke's laptop, it's not your business. You need to delete it." That was it. No, I'm sorry. No, let me explain. No goddamn accountability. She didn't even say what I found. Probably knew I was recording. Probably figured she could keep it vague enough to deny it all later. I stared at her. You're kidding, right? She blinked, said nothing. You and Luke blow up my life behind my back for years, and you've got the nerve to show up here and make demands. Still no answer. She just sat there, frozen, like her brain was buffering. So I went in harder. What the F is wrong with you, Amy? Seriously, who the hell are you? What kind of monster does this to someone who trusted them? Nothing. Not even a flicker. Then she muttered, still in that plastic calm tone. You can divorce Luke if that's what you want, but leave me out of it. That broke me. I laughed in her face. You're already in it, you psycho. You are the reason. You think this doesn't involve you? She stared at me, breathing heavy, but still locked into that same robotic, just stay in control act, like she thought that made her the bigger person. Delete it, she repeated. All of it, now. Oh, damn no, I said, standing up. You want to explain why I should? She finally snapped. This isn't about you. she yelled. Just do what I freaking said. Then what the hell is it about? I shouted right back, because from where I'm sitting, it looks a whole lot like guilt. Just delete the files, she barked. No, I said, slow and clear, and I'm done asking why, since you clearly don't have the spine to give a straight answer. Did Luke put you up to this? I asked. Or is this just your idea of damage control? She didn't say a word. Coward. Get out, I said, pointing to the door. Now. And then she lost it. I'm not leaving until you delete those files, she screamed, standing up, red in the face now, hands shaking. I stepped back, grabbed my phone tighter. Try me, I said. Go ahead, try to make me. That's when she lost whatever thin grip she had left. She stormed out of the room, fast, before I could even react, ran straight into the den, grabbed my laptop off the desk, and with a scream that barely sounded human, slam! She hurled it to the floor. I honestly don't know what the hell she thought she was going to accomplish with that little stunt. It didn't help her case. If anything, it made her look even more unhinged. She was spiraling. That much was obvious, full panic mode. Good thing I'd already backed up everything. Her smashing my laptop didn't erase a damn thing. I still had the files, the photos, the messages, the videos, everything that tied her to Luke. Sure, the camera didn't catch the exact moment she slammed the laptop, but whatever. My phone was still rolling, and the audio picked up enough. I had her voice. I had her threats. And right then, I wasn't even angry. I was calculating, watching her closely. She was shaking, jaw tight, eyes wild. She looked like she was seconds away from doing something worse. I kept my tone cool. You need to go, Amy. I'm serious. If you don't walk out of this house in the next 10 seconds, I'm calling the cops. She crossed her arms, voice brittle. I'm not leaving until you agree to keep my name out of it. Drop the affair talk. Divorce Luke if you want, but don't drag me into your mess. I stared at her like she'd lost her goddamn mind. My mess? I said. You think this is my mess? She doubled down. You're overreacting. This is all spiraling because you can't let go. Just walk away from him quietly. Leave me the hell alone. I laughed, cold. You burned down my marriage and you want a clean exit? She snapped. I didn't burn anything down. I stepped forward. You slept with my husband, Amy. You lied to me for years. You let my daughter get close to a boy who might be her half-brother. And you still think you're innocent in all this? You don't know what you're talking about, she hissed. You don't get my family, and you sure as hell don't get to talk about my kids. They deserve the truth, I said, staring her down. They deserve to know where they come from, who Luke really is to them. Amy bristled, voice trembling with rage. It's none of your damn business. I didn't blink. No? Well, it became my business the minute your kids started calling my daughter cute. The second you dragged my family into your bullshit, you crossed the line and now you're mad you got caught. She started pacing, her hands balled into fists. You think you can just smear my name? Destroy me? I don't need to smear you, I said flatly. You did that all by yourself. Her voice cracked. This isn't fair. Life's not fair, I snapped. Now get the F out of my house. That's when she completely lost it. 1 second she was standing across the room. The next, she lunged, just snapped, grabbed me by the arm and shoved me backward, screaming something incoherent. It took me a second to realize what was happening. She was attacking me. I'm not a fighter, but I'm not helpless either. I fought her off, elbowed her hard, pushed her back until she stumbled and hit the coffee table. Get the hell off me! I screamed. She stared at me like I was the monster, panting, hair a mess, eyes full of hate. You witch! She spat. I've been called worse, I said, holding up my phone. And congrats, now you're on video too. That made her freeze. Reality hit her like a truck. She didn't say another word, just stormed out the front door and slammed it behind her like a toddler throwing a tantrum. I filed a police report right away. I had a bad feeling she'd pull something like this. Wanted to get ahead of it. When I saw the kids, I'd cleaned up. But I didn't lie. They asked about my black eye. I told the truth. Well, most of it. Just stay away from Amy, I said, for your own safety. I sent the video and photos of my face, before I cleaned up, to Paige and Zach. They also printed the letters where Luke calls Kaylee his kid. Amy really shot herself in the foot. I don't know why she did it. Was she covering for Luke? Was it his plan? Scared to be outed? Just saving her own A? Doesn't matter now. Too late. The more I talk to people, neighbors, friends, folks in our circle, the more I hear. Turns out, people had their doubts for years. No proof, but plenty of whispers. Maybe Amy just didn't want her kids to know who their real dad is. That fits. But Tom, I still don't know. I didn't ask her straight up. It's been a rough week. A lot happened. I'm not going to walk through every second, so here's the short version. Luke's got a lawyer now. I don't know him. But he talked to both Paige and Zach. People keep telling me to press charges against Amy. I could have. The footage is clear. But I gave it to my lawyers instead. Maybe that was dumb. Maybe I'm soft. I don't know. Some part of me still wants to protect the people I once loved, or at least not go full scorched earth. Then Jim, Luke's dad, had a heart attack. That stopped everything. No more legal talk, just shock. At the funeral, I saw Luke, Amy, and her kids. First time we were all in the same spot since this all blew up. No one said anything big, just small talk. Amy came up to me, quiet voice. "I'm sorry for what happened." She looked sorry, I'll give her that. But I didn't come to fight. Luke, Amy, even Kat, they looked wrecked. So was I. We agreed, no drama. Not that day. For Jim. Luke and I talked a bit. Only about Jim. Nothing else. Since then, I've been with the kids more. Took time off work. I had the hours saved. Luke saw the kids twice, once before, once after the funeral. It went okay. Me and Sophie were there. Amy didn't show. No weird stuff. I do think Luke misses them. Hurts him not seeing them every day. The kids are hurting. Family's broken and now they lost their grandpa. It's a lot. They don't blame me. I know that. But still it weighs heavy. Carter's been sleeping in my bed the past few nights. There's more I could say, but I don't have the energy. Just this. Someone here guessed right about the DNA test. Kat never sent it in. She told me later. Said she didn't want to go behind Luke's back. But she was fine lying to me about it. Till guilt got her. She came clean. I'm not mad, exactly. But I don't trust her anymore. Far as I know, she still hasn't told Luke. So yeah, Tom could be Luke's. Maybe even likely. My lawyers went through all the letters Amy tried to hide. Now I get why she panicked. Turns out, there's a reason she and Luke never married. They did something bad. Real bad. I don't think I should say what. Not here. Not yet. I haven't even wrapped my head around it. Paige said, "If you're not sure, don't post." She's right. I told them to hold off. I'm not ready to decide how or if I'll use it. Right now, I feel awful. Part of me can't help blaming myself for Jim. I'm sure Luke and Amy blame themselves too. They're awful. I don't forgive them. But this whole mess broke them just as much as it broke me. We all feel it, deep down, that the divorce, the drama, maybe helped push Jim over the edge. He already had heart issues. But the part that eliminates me? I showed him proof of the affair right before he died. And I'll carry that forever. Even if I shouldn't.